If we're going to come to Lake Charles, we got to visit with our bud. Are you kidding me? How could we possibly come all the way down I-10 West here to Lake Charles and not visit with the head coach of the McNeese State basketball program? Our good bud, Will Wade, is here to start the show. How are you, man?
Good to see you, buddy, man. Been a while.
It's so good.
It's been a while.
It has been. Congrats, by the way, on the success your team's had here from Jump. It's been one of the more fun stories of college basketball to follow this year. Did you expect this?
Not quite like this.
Okay.
I knew we'd be good. I knew we'd be very good in the Southland Conference. I didn't know we'd come together as quick as we did and win a lot of the non-conference games. I mean, it's really hard to win non-conference games. We won 3 bye games where the teams paid us, $90,000+ and we went in there and beat them. I mean, you can go a whole career and not win 3 bye games over the course of a career, and to win 3 in 1 year is very, very challenging. So I didn't know the non-conference would go like that. I knew we'd be very, very good once we got into Southland Conference play, but it's been a fun ride. Now we got to finish it strong.
I remember early in your time at LSU, y'all went to Maui and you beat Michigan in a big upset, and now you've done it here. Do the Michigan people hate you?
I don't know. They beat us in the NCAA tournament that
that's
year.
True. That's good ball game. Fair enough. They got the one that counted. Fair enough.
They beat us in the NCAA tournament in the round of 32 that year.
You and I
think they would trade those.
Yeah, you're probably right. I just remember the wins.
Yeah, I like that.
Is it true that the coaches remember the losses more than wins?
Partially, yeah. I mean, as you said, you pointed out the wins, and the first thing I thought of was losing to them in the round of 32.
Maybe that's how that goes.
Had a lead with 5 minutes left and couldn't finish.
You and I spoke over the summer, and I remember you talking about how you're building your roster. And it was so interesting to me because with the transfer portal and everything, there's the perspective. And I know our friend Ross Dellinger had a piece this week where he talked to a lot of G5 football coaches where they basically acknowledged, look, all of our best players are leaving. And what struck me so much when you and I spoke is said, you're actually recruiting to that. Like come here, because we can get you there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's no different in my mind. I mean, look, we're having a lot of success this year. My kids I got kids, they're going to be out. I mean, I got one kid came to me and said, hey, such and such reached out through somebody and offered me this. I said, bro, you got to go. I said, it's time to get to stepping. I don't know why are you? I mean, I appreciate you letting me know. I appreciate you talking to me. I'm glad you ran that by me, but you got to go. And like I told him, I said, well, look, we'll use you and we'll go get the next person just like you, and we'll do the same thing. It's no different than when we were at the higher level when we were at LSU. You tried to recruit kids and get them to the NBA or get them drafted. And then, you could try to hang on to a kid for an extra year maybe. But my philosophy was let them go. When they're ready to go, let them go, and then we'll sell that to the next guy. And so the same thing here. We're trying to get kids that want to go high major. Will be a stopping point for them to get to high major. And then once they go high major, we'll go tell the next guy that we're recruiting, hey, look, this is what we did for him. We took him from here. He averaged this. Now he averaged this for us. Now he's going high major, and it worked out for him. So let's just go do the same thing. You can't be scared to just replenish and keep it going. And so I just think it's the same thing you do at the high major level, just different. Instead of sending them off to the NBA or sending them off to the G League or wherever it may be, now you're sending them to another high major program, and then you go get the next batch and try to do the same thing and then sell it again. Rinse and repeat.
It's a one and done approach.
Pretty much, or 2.
Yeah.
Depends on how the development goes with a freshman. But I think there's a lot of positives that can come from that. And for us, the market inadequacies, you're always looking for where is junior college, because the high majors are no longer recruiting junior college at all, because what you could get in junior college you can now get in a transfer. Very few high majors recruit junior college to begin with, but now basically none of them are. I've saved 3 to 5 schools that will recruit junior college from high majors. So now that filters down. At McNeese State, we can get a top 25 junior college player. So if you get 1 or 2 of those are impact guys. So, we're going to look in the transfer portal, but then we want junior college kids, bring them here, play for us for a year. Then, the high majors will take them from us, maybe that they wouldn't take from junior college. And so you're looking for, places where, or, spots and places where you can maneuver where it's a little bit different than, than the traditional route. And I think junior college is a place for us where we can do that.
Is this model? Will Wade is our guest here on site with us. Do you think that's sustainable?
Let
me ask you a different way. Let me ask you a different way. Do you think the current culture around college athletics with the portal, NIL, what you're discussing, like, do you think there's a sustainability around that in all of college sports?
No. I mean, look. I mean, what other industry do basically you're asking the people who pay for the tickets to pay for the players too? Right? Usually if you pay for the ticket, the player's included, right? When you go to a pro sporting event and then the organization that you pay for the ticket from,
from that revenue,
from the revenue. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Of course.
But, no, I don't think it's sustainable, but I think it's a very, it's a tough time because what you really have to, and I don't know legally how there's a way to do this, and that's what's really tough, is, eventually some of the athletes have to be employees. But how do you make basically the revenue-producing athletes employees and the non-revenue – because if you make everyone an employee, there's not enough money. There's not enough money to go around. I know people will say there is, but not to distribute it how it should be distributed. But there's obviously issues if football and men's basketball, and in some cases women's basketball, are employees, and then your women's soccer team is not employees. And so they've got to work a framework around all of that, and they're trying to thread a thin needle with that. And until then, it's just it's gonna be what it is. But I think in the next 3 to 5 years, I think there'll be some clarity to it. My personal take is, I think football should operate as a separate entity. And you just have one big football conference with everybody who wants to play. You got 60 teams, 65 teams. Whoever has a certain budget that wants to get in. That's fine. If Iowa State says they can't get in, they're not in. If Georgia State says we're going to put all our money into it, they're in. I mean, it doesn't matter. Whoever wants in, whoever wants out. And then regionalize the other conferences around all the other sports. It makes no sense to have every sport having to do all this just because of football. Now, the SEC's case, all the states connect. It's
they were big on it being contiguous. Yes.
All that. Now, the Big 12, the
Big Ten,
the Big Ten especially.
How about UCLA going to play at Rutgers?
Yeah, I mean
in volleyball,
right? And so I just think we need to get our senses back to. We've got to find a way for football to operate separately, and in some ways, men's basketball needs to operate, under some employment model, and then you can get back to everything else being a little bit more normal. But no, I don't think it's I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think it's and it just wears off. If you look at just in football, if you look at the teams, in my opinion, that really came out really strong when NIL came out. You look at Tennessee, you look at Miami, you look at A&M. Those
Florida
would be
State,
kind of the first 3 or 4. Well, all those were schools that hadn't won anything in forever in football. They had been good in the past, but they hadn't won anything forever. So their people were going, all right, we're just going to try to, quick ticket, and let's see if we can just buy us a good team. Well, now that hasn't worked, that stuff's kind of dissipating for those schools. And some of the schools that maybe weren't as motivated, who had won championships recently, are now maybe a little bit more motivated. So I think there's such ebb and flow to that. You can't sustain that, and I think that's where college athletics is right now. And so until there's able to work through some employment and collective bargaining, you can't control the transfer portal until there's a contract. Until then, they're just going to get killed on antitrust. You're right. I mean, the reality is right now, every kid right now can transfer as many times as they want, and there's probably a case to be made that every kid should have 5 years of eligibility. In fact, if somebody challenges that in court, the kids will get 5. They'll be able to stay until they get a graduate degree.
Got Van Wilders running all over the place.
You'll have some old cats out there running around, and so I think until all of that gets under control, it's going to be tough. But I think in the next 2 to 3 years, hopefully it'll stabilize and we can figure out some sort of model that works for everyone. Because McNeese State isn't the same as LSU, and LSU isn't the same as Northwestern State, and
Right.
Northwestern State is not the same as Tulane. Like everybody just needs to kind of get in their niche and play it from there.
Yeah, part of that is accepting which niche you exist in, and I know a lot of programs have struggled with that. Always one of our favorites. I know you got to get to practice. I appreciate you for coming, but before you go, I did want to ask Lake Charles, man, what's this community is fantastic. What's it been like for you being here? Everyone sings your praises around here.
Well, everybody likes a winner.
Yeah, no doubt.
so when we win, everybody likes you. But the community's been incredible. They've welcomed my wife, my daughter, and I. We absolutely love it. Just tremendous people, just like all the people across all the state. I said this all the time, even during my time at LSU. I've never been anywhere where I've had such a connection with the fans. And a lot of our fans in McNeese are, LSU fans,
Sure.
and then are McNeese fans, and or vice versa. And so, it's the people have been great. Everybody's been welcoming. The city, the area has just been phenomenal, and everybody's excited. We've sold out every weekend home game at McNeese, and so everybody's just fired up and excited. We hadn't won a whole lot around here, so they're pretty fired up with the newness of it all, and we just got to keep it rolling and finish strong.
He is our good bud, and for anyone who doesn't like that, I say bud. I don't really care. Thank you as always, man. Congrats on your success. We're always pulling for you, man. Thank you for doing this. I know you had to move your practice schedule to accommodate to come sit here.
When I heard it was Matt Moscona, I said we're gonna move things around and we'll get it figured out. To hell with practice. We got a radio show to do.
He is a colossal liar, is what he is. But I appreciate it very much.